Pain here, keeping you from going here. Let's find out how to fix that. Prehab, welcome back to the channel. Dr. Dorian St. Danik here, and I'm happy to be with you all today talking about bicep pain, specifically distal biceps tendinopathy, biceps pain here. Before we go through exercises to tackle this, let's be sure we have a solid understanding what distal biceps tendinopathy is and what it means when we're dealing with a tendinopathy. The biceps brachii muscle is the large, thick muscle of the front side of the upper arm. It consists of two heads. The long head originates at the supraglenoid tubercle, which is on the top side of our arm socket located on the shoulder blade. The short head originates at the head of the coracoid process, which is a hook-like extension of the spine of the shoulder blade. These two heads unite as a common muscle belly on the front of our humerus bone, inserting into the radial tuberosity located at the top of the forearm just to the outside of the midline. Based on its attachments at the shoulder and at the elbow, the biceps is in charge of flexing the elbow, supinating the forearm, and assisting with shoulder flexion. Now let's define the term tendinopathy. Tendinopathy refers to a disruption of tendon tissue anatomy as well as function. Resulting from chronic overuse or overload, tendinopathy involves degeneration of a tendon due to a failed healing response. Pain in tendinopathy is typically aching, sore, and stiff, though sharp pain is possible. Onset can be during activity, but more typically presents after activity has ceased. In the case of distal biceps tendinopathy, repetitive activities involving lifting, twisting, and pulling can cause development of this syndrome. This includes gym exercises such as curls and pull-ups, as well as occupational demands such as lifting and carrying. Because there's a lack of inflammation, passive modalities do not effectively improve symptoms and function. The basis of treatment should be graded exposure to static loads, exercises to improve the efficiency of pulling and curling motions, and progressive resistance exercise of the biceps complex. In this manner, we can rebuild the integrity of the tendon, collagen, while allowing for adequate healing. Let me show you. When pain irritability is elevated, say above 5 out of 10, we want to expose the tendon to submaximal loads without excessive stretching or shortening of the tendon. This is best achieved through isometrics. If we have a specific elbow position that produces pain, we can load those isometrics in that position. Otherwise, we can default to a mid-range position somewhere just shy of 90-degree bend. So let's take a look at that isometric bicep curl. If we can anchor our hand and our palm underneath a sturdy object such as a heavy table, we can begin to perform elbow flexion. That's bending upwards towards the ceiling with the elbow. The angle of the elbow should be somewhere between 60 to potentially 90 degrees, and we want to start to feel that muscle belly on the top of the arm engage. We're going to give about 60 to 70% of max effort for anywhere from 10 to 30 seconds. So once again, take that palm underneath your sturdy object like a table and begin to drive your forearm up to the ceiling, feeling tension and work within the bicep more than your tendon discomfort. What you want to look out for, don't compensate by flexing the shoulder, so we're not trying to lift the entire arm, we're making sure that it is isolated at the elbow joint. Go ahead and try 3 to 5 rounds of these daily. All right, let's take a look at the mid-phase portion of rehab. So once that pain is stabilized to, let's say, a 1 to 4 out of 10 pain rating, we want to load the bicep through full range of motion, typically under slow tempo while engaging our shoulder blade stabilizers. Here's a great option. We can do the anchored bicep curl. Here I'm going to use my squat rack, but at home you can go ahead and use the frame of a doorway. Taking a neutral grip, I'm going to grab behind my anchor. I'm going to take a wide base to make sure I'm balanced. I'm going to set my shoulder blades tucking down. I feel some engagement between my shoulder blades, and from here I'm going to start to pull myself up to the doorway, up to the anchor, and then let myself fall back. If I want a little bit more load, I can sneak my feet in towards my anchor. Once again, set my shoulder blades with a wide base and then begin my pulling motion, once again, initiating movement through the elbow joint. We can shoot for 2 to 4 sets of 15 repetitions about 3 days a week in order to start improving hypertrophy and strength of the biceps while having the support of our shoulder blade stabilizers. All right, here's another mid-phase exercise where we're gonna load the bicep with the help of our shoulder blade stabilizers. We're gonna pick a slightly lighter weight, typically lighter than what you could curl, and we're gonna assume a tall kneeling position in order to drop our shoulder blades down and keep engagement within those stabilizing muscles. We're gonna perform a supinated, so palm up grip, forward raise, and with that I have an isometric load on my bicep, but I also have a little bit of an isotonic load as I'm moving my shoulder into flexion. Slow tempo here, 3 seconds up, 3 seconds down. Keep shoulder blades engaged. And this is so important because that shoulder blade stability and that shoulder blade posture helps to share the stress of what is coming from the dumbbell in this case. And in other scenarios, anytime you need to curl or pull, engaging the shoulder blades can really help offload forces and stress at the elbow, at the biceps tendon. We can shoot for a little bit of higher volume here, maybe 15 repetitions, 2 to 4 rounds, 3 days a week. And I'm feeling that all throughout my bicep muscle belly and a little bit less in my tendon. When pain has really dropped down to maybe absent levels and it's fairly inconsistent, we want to go ahead and build out some resilience in that biceps tendon. Think prehab. From here, we're going to try progressive resistance exercise under slow tempo once again. And we're gonna try to load that bicep curl to fatigue. So here I've got a dumbbell. I'm gonna assume a tall kneeling position. That tall kneeling position is gonna make sure I don't use my low back or my hips to create momentum for the curl. I also wanna take a supinated grip. Remembering the function of the bicep, you can go ahead and supinate the grip to better target that distal biceps tendon. I'm gonna start to lift forearm, wrist towards the ceiling, 3 seconds up. I'm gonna slowly lower down, 3, 2, 1, back down. You're gonna wanna find about a 15 rep max for this exercise, and you're gonna wanna do that for about 2 to 3 rounds, 2 to 3 days per week. Progressive loading is important, so make sure you're getting more load in every other week, and you may be in this phase for anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks. Remember, going to fatigue is important, and you want to make sure you're feeling it in that muscle belly as opposed to the tendon itself. Feel it more in the muscle belly as opposed to the tendon. Make sure you're not doing that body sway to lift that weight up, and don't flex the shoulder to lift the bicep or lift the arm. You want to flex at the elbow. Okay, so let's hit you with all the major takeaways. Number 1, improve your loading tolerance and pain irritability with graded exposure to isometric elbow flexion loading. Number 2, begin to improve your efficiency with pulling motions using the anchored bicep curl exercise. Number 3, prevent future episodes by improving strength of the biceps with supinated grip bicep curls. Give these exercises a try and be sure to check out our elbow, wrist, and hand rehab and prehab programs through our app if you're looking to further take the guesswork out of your recovery. Until next time, take care.
Hey, did you like this video? If you did, you should definitely check out the Prehab app. It includes all of our programs, a brand new workout library, and tons more videos like the one you saw today. Check it out by clicking on this link. You get a free trial. Take control of your health today.